My name is Regina Baiocchi. I'm a composer and an author, and I'll have some of my music heard here today, all of the music actually that I wrote, and some poetry. So I'd like to start with a chant. This is a piece that I wrote for my parents for Mother's Day and for Father's Day. And as a former choir director, I thought this would be an ideal way to start the program. Please welcome Felicia Patton as she performs I've Got a Mother and a Father. I always tease and say that's how I sound in the shower. As I'm introducing the next piece, I'd like for the ensemble to join me on stage. Darius mentioned that he is representing the Jazz Institute of Chicago, and we are so grateful that they're sponsoring us, along with First Presbyterian Church. So you're going to hear jazz today. This piece is the blues, and as you know, the blues is the foundation for jazz. So for those of you who are counting, if we have any blues police out there, this is a 13-bar blues. Most people, when they think of blues, think of 12 bars. But if you know W.C. Handy and his history, you know that he's the person who codified the blues. And so there are so many different versions of it, but this is something that we'd like to do for you. We think you'll enjoy it. It's called H, B4A, the letter H, the letter B, the number 4, and A. And it stands for Happy Birthday for Alan. It's a piece I wrote for my jazz piano teacher, Alan Swain, who's still active in his mid-90s. He teaches in Kenilworth and also in Highland Park. But I met him when I was a student at DePaul University. So please welcome the 6Degrees Jazz Sextet Quintet doing H before A. Happy birthday for Alan. on piano. Emma Zayhoff on bass. Samuel Jewell on drums. Chad McCullough on trumpet. Edwin Doherty on saxophone. Now, in case you're interested, all of these musicians behind me are band leaders in their own right. So I urge you to talk to them if you're looking for a bass player, if you're looking for a drummer, you're looking for a trumpet player, saxophone player. We've got 2 pianists here, 3 pianists. Look no further. They're all here. As we go into our next piece, Dreamweaver, I'd like to talk a little bit about what inspired me to write this piece. Dreamweaver is my version of 2 lovers dreaming about each other. And so I hope you enjoy it. The words are very simple. Dreamweaver, you dream keeper, the one whom I adore. Just let me sleep, don't let me wake. And it talks about how this dream is so lovely that they're shared together in 2 different spaces and how much they love each other. Dreamweaver. next piece is a piece that was inspired by Miles Dewey Davis. And you, of course, know Miles Davis as one of the founders of cool jazz. And it's dedicated to a trumpet mentor of mine. I played trumpet in another life. And Chad, who's going to be performing the piece, also has connections. This man's name was William Butler Fielder. And I've written widely about him because he was such a force. I always call him a kingmaker because everyone knows his students. If I say the name Wynton Marsalis, you're like, oh. If I say the name Terrence Blanchard, you know who that is. And so Fielder, William Butler Fielder, was one of those people who not only was a jazz phenom, he also played classical music at the very highest level. He studied with Bud Herseth, who was the first trumpet player of Chicago Symphony Orchestra. He studied with Vincent Chikowitz, who was the second trumpet player of Chicago Symphony Orchestra. And I think at times, Herseth and Chikowitz would trade. And if you know anything about Chicago Symphony Orchestra, they have what's called the Chicago sound. Every orchestra in the world tries to imitate that sound. So you have a core group of Bud Herseth, Vincent Chikowitz, Dale Clevenger, and of course I can't remember the trombone player's name or the tuba player's name, but that's a reason for you to contact me. Anyway, you will hear this Chicago sound, and you will hear the sound of Miles Davis in this piece that I like to call Miles Per Hour. Please welcome Chad McCullough. Chad. I hope you heard all of the elements in that piece. Sometimes it's very difficult to separate different idioms. I know when I wrote that piece, I heard jazz in my head, I heard the call and response, and that's what Chad did with the harmony and the open sound. I heard some gospel riffs, definitely heard some classical fanfares, so I hope you don't mind that I mixed them. This program is billed as Jazz Vespers. And basically what that means is that we have an afternoon of music, an afternoon of poetry, and an afternoon of prayer. Shortly, we will be joined by the pastor of this church. And one of the ways that we keep these programs free and open to the public is that we don't ask for ticket prices. But we do have a QR code if you'd like to make a donation to the church to help them pay for the lights and for the staff that's here. I know for a fact that they've been here since early this morning because I got here at 1 o'clock and the place was bustling and people were leaving after the last service of the day. So please give generously. And if you don't want to give electronically, they also accept money. Fathom that. You can give cash. You can give cash, or you can go on their website and make a donation. Is that correct, Sanjeev?
Sorry?
Can they go on your website and make a donation?
Yes, the QR code to the front of the
Okay.
site.
So Sanjeev just informed us that the QR code is at the entrance when you come in. So basically all you have to do is bring up the QR code reader on your phone and scan it and make your donation. Or if you'd like to write a check, or if you'd like to give cash, those are other options. And as far as the prayer is concerned, as I mentioned to some of the musicians, I know whenever I perform music, it is a form of prayer and thanksgiving, for all of the people whose shoulders that I stand on, and for the ultimate musician. We'd like to turn now and do some poetry that I've written. I want to start with a piece that I call Another Smoke-Filled Room. And I wrote this poem after I heard a jazz ensemble. And I will be joined by Emma Dayhuff on bass. Another smoke-filled room, divided by Saturday night, sweat boxes, a spill-proof rim, shot from the drummer's cue, sticks slick with slick sticks, licks like wallpaper. Wallpaper secrets will ever silence. The barflies are open for wet, warm deathbeds. Once deuce and a quarter, now 4 by 4, 8, time tapping, tick-tock-toe shoes, pointed pirouettes in tutus, Nobel Prize aura. All aglow, we come together like Christmas magic. Welcome, warm, lean, long, a-go-go bells. You zig, my zag, your straight lines, striped with my nappy spaces, become lullabies and mantras, framed for our future in another smoke-filled room. I feel like Louis Armstrong. The next piece that I want to read is called Soundcat, and sometimes I call it Sound for Cat. And it was inspired by the reading that says, let everything, or everything that has breath ought to praise him. Sound for Cat, or Soundcat. There's a black cat at the top of the stairs. Throaty purrs. The black cat. The black cat purrs a deep and mellow. Cat sounds, low tones, threshing. Listen, I can hear her. Can you hear her? I speak fluent meow. Shh, listen. Cat says, God is a woman. God is a woman. God is a woman. God is a woman who sings. Emma Dayhoff on bass. The last poem that I want to read was written closer to the beginning of this pandemic, and it's called Beatitudes. It was inspired by the Sermon on the Mount. Blessed are the dead, for they don't have to make toilet paper runs, count haiku syllables, or bury their survivors. Blessed are the lonely, for their secrets are not detected. Their zits can be popped or left to fester on date night. Blessed are the failures, for success is fleeting. Attempts are countless, and boats that set sail are castles without skies. Cursed are the blessed who cannot see that all is a gift. That's called Beatitudes. The next piece that I wrote calls for voice, piano, trumpet, drums, and I invite the musicians to gather as I'm speaking. This piece is about the seasons: summer, wing, sprinter, autumn. And I talk about how even though summer returns, every year it's a different season. So I hope you like the words, I hope you like the music. Please welcome 6Degrees Jazz Sextet as they perform Cycles. On bass, Esther Punt on piano. Now Esther goes by Esther Hahn, but I have a special gift for anyone who can pronounce her name at the end of the concert. I just said it. Am I going to say it again? This is a test. Okay, I'll say it one more time. Punt. One of the reasons that I like to introduce people by their given name as well as their stage name, because you go someplace and you say, yeah, I heard Esther Punt, and people say, who is that? Because you can hear Esther at the Gaslight. Is that at the Hilton? Yes. At the Hilton, near O'Hare Airport. And what days are you at the Gaslight?
Wednesday and Friday.
Wednesday and Friday evening. So if you're ever out at the airport and your plane is late, you can go to the Hilton and hear Esther on Wednesday and Friday. Esther Hahn. Emma, where will you be next?
Tonight at Andy's.
Okay, so tonight at Andy's, is air conditioning. Andy's on Illinois, what's your address?
It's on Hubbard, 11 East Hubbard.
11 East Hubbard, and you'll hear Emma. Are you there with your own group, or?
My own group every Sunday through the end of August, yeah.
Okay, every Sunday through the end of August, you can go to Andy's on East Hubbard, between State and Dearborn, and you can hear Emma Dayhuff and her ensemble. Mr. Jewell, where are you next?
Currently, I have something right after this at South Shore Cultural Center, and then I'm playing at Winters Jazz Club on September 1st.
Okay, you'll be at South Shore Cultural Center on 71st and South Shore Drive. And Winters, is that on Wacker?
It's on McClure.
Oh, McClure Court. Okay, so South Shore Cultural Center right after this. You know, in the old days, people would have, go from club to club. So when you leave here, you can follow Samuel Jewell. He's going to South Shore Cultural Center, just right up the street, or you can catch him at Winters. Samuel Jewell. Chad, where are you next?
Skopje, Macedonia.
Yes, Chad is on his way to Macedonia tomorrow. And I asked him, every time I see him, I said, have you packed yet? He's my hero. No. And he's leaving tomorrow, a man after my own heart. So Chad will be in Macedonia, and when he returns, he's working on a new CD that will be out for trumpet, guitar, and drums. So look for Chad McCullough's new CD when he returns from Macedonia. Chad McCullough. For those of you who are from Chicago, Edwin Doherty is a protege of Captain Walter Dyer. Captain Walter Dyer taught at Wendell Phillips High School. He also taught at DuSable High School. I believe he was a man in the armed forces, and Edwin just did a tribute to him at MCA, the Museum of Contemporary Art. So Edwin, where will you be next?
I only work with you.
Oh, he only works with me. Oh, God. I love Edwin. I love him so much. And you know why I love him? He always beats me to the gigs. No matter how early I get up, if I come in here at the crack of dawn, Edwin is going to be here. And I love that about him. But Edwin is a member of AACA. He's very active as a saxophone player, and he's also active as a composer. Edwin Doherty. Felicia, where will you be next, please?
Oh, I was hoping you didn't ask me that because I did not remember. But what you could do is visit my website, which is just my name, FeliciaPatton.net. It has the whole calendar on there and all of the things we're doing with the Jazz Institute, as well as other things.
So that's Felicia Patton, FeliciaPatton. Felicia Patton. And where will I be next? I will be sitting in front of my air conditioner with a vat of cold water. No, after we do this program, we have a series of rehearsals, and then this same ensemble, I think because Chad is going to Macedonia, Victor Garcia will be sitting in on trumpet and also playing congas. And so we will be performing at Epiphany, 200 South Ashland. I believe it's Ashland and Monroe. And it's a really nice space. I hope that you can join us. And to my knowledge, Darius, are these programs all free and open to the public? Okay, so please join us at Epiphany for the Arts, and that date is, thank you, August 4th. August 4th will be at Epiphany. August 4th is a Thursday. And you'll get to hear all three ensembles. As Darius mentioned, there were three composers who were chosen. Myself, Isaiah, who's a saxophone player and a composer, and Ethan, who plays bass, and he's also a composer. I think Isaiah's doing a quartet? Oh, okay. And then Ethan is doing a big band. He has 10 pieces? 10 pieces. So all three of us will be at the Epiphany. Okay, so now we're at the point of the program doing a piece that I really enjoyed writing. In the before times, I gave regular concerts, and after the concerts, we always had these lavish receptions, because you know we like to eat. And it was nothing lavish in the sense of a full meal, but my brother-in-law, my older sister's husband, was an executive pastry chef, and he made these wonderful desserts. If you were never at any of my concerts, his desserts have been on the cover of Chicago magazine. He has students all over the world that he trained. I believe he was the first Central American to graduate from Cordon Bleu. And he and his mother and his 6 siblings and his father immigrated here from Belize. And whenever I do a concert, people say, hey, is your brother coming? Well, I have, several brothers. I thought they meant my brother. They meant my brother-in-law because they wanted the pastries. And I started to feel a little funny. It's like, are you coming for the pastries or the music? Oh, yeah, we come for the music. Yeah, we like the music, but we also like the pastry. So Belize, some people call it Belize. It's a country in Central America, bordering on Mexico and Guatemala. It's a beautiful place. And if you ever get a chance to go there, please do. I know that their economy is a little depressed now, as is with the rest of the world. But this is my tribute to Manny and Ellsworth Allen, and we call it Belize. It's a bossa nova. Hope you enjoy it. Raymond came up on buttons. Esther Regina on piano.
Regina Iris Baiocchi.
This cannot be proper jazz vespers unless we invite the pastor to say a few words. So I'd like for the pastor and Thomas Jefferson to come forth, please. Please welcome Pastor Black as he gives us our benediction. And after the benediction, we have one last piece that we're going to do. So, Pastor Black.
Thank you, Regina. Good evening. I've been asked to offer a benediction, and benediction is one of those good old Latin words, and all it means is blessing. And it would be wrong to stand before you and pretend that I'm going to be the one to give you a blessing tonight when we have been so richly blessed by what we have witnessed here together tonight. Amen? So instead of creating some old kind of blessing to cast upon you, I would like to invite you into a moment of just blessing one another. And I want to invite you just to turn to your neighbor and say, I'm grateful you are here. Now go ahead and turn to the other neighbor that you chose not to turn to the first time and say, I am grateful that I am here. Pastor's trying to stir up some drama. And I just invite you into a moment of what a friend of mine recently called California grace, where we just notice the ways that our molecules have been changed by the sound that has blessed us this hour. The way that the sound has embedded in our minds, in our spirits, in our hearts, and has transformed and changed us. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace.
Thank you so much, Pastor Black. It's been a joy and a privilege to be here. I am honored. I'm grateful to everyone who made this program possible. Not only the ensemble, but Sanjeev Singh. Sanjeev, would you stand up, please? Sanjeev is our point person here, and they've made us feel most welcome. You just met Pastor Black. And also, I want to make sure that everyone knows who Darius is. Darius Hampton represents the Jazz Institute of Chicago. Darius, would you please stand? Thank you, and thank you to each member of the audience. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day, and I appreciate you being with us as we offer our Jazz Vespers. I'd like to close with a piece that I wrote some months ago called Deliverance. I was asked to write a piece, Songs About Buildings. And this piece is my musical depiction of the First Church of Deliverance. If you've never been on 43rd and Wabash, the First Church of Deliverance used to be a hat factory. And in the 1920s, it was converted to a church. First Church of Deliverance was one of the first churches to welcome some of the African Americans who came from various southern and southwestern states to Chicago. People went to Chicago, Detroit, New York looking for a better life. And the First Church of Deliverance also was the first church to ever use the Hammond B3 within a church worship service. So naturally, I wanted to write a piece for B3. And because they have historically a wonderful choir, our plans were to write a piece for B3 organ, voices, and percussion. And when I say percussion, I really just mean some sisters slapping on that tambourine, because that's really all you need. But COVID had other plans, and so the first person that I thought of who could bring the magic of the B3 who is a very orchestral player, is Thomas Wade Jefferson. So please receive him as he does Deliverance.
At home.
Dr. Jefferson will be at home, but if you're inclined to study with him, he is teaching at North Park College. He's a wonderful pianist, as you can tell. He's also a great composer, and I'm so happy to count him as my friend. Another round for Thomas Wade Jefferson. This concludes our Jazz Vespers. I cannot thank you enough for braving the war. You know, one of my mentors, Hale Smith, he's since passed, but I talk to his wife often, And she said the hottest day of her life was spent in Chicago. And the coldest day of her life was spent in Chicago. And every time she talks to me, she asks me, what is the weather like up there? Is it hotter than it is in Europe? But I thought about her the whole time I was sitting here. And you know who else I thought about? I thought about all the people who built this church, or people like my parents. I'm a July baby. I think about my mother being 9 months pregnant with 10 kids in this heat. And I am just so grateful. I really am. I don't know that I could do that. But I'm really, really grateful for each of you. Thank you so very much. And I hope to see you either at Epiphany on April 4th. And all of the programs that we do lead to Friday, September 2nd, 11 a.m. And if I'm not mistaken, we will open the Jazz Festival. Ours is the first act. So bring your lunch, bring your dancing shoes so you can dance. And thank you so much for your support. Please do remember First Presbyterian Church of Woodlawn. If you can give generously. Thank you very much.